Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Foundation executive calls over the weekend and then gets mad at me. So for a bit of background, after my initial job training, I worked as an in-house IT support for a large political foundation based in Germany, with offices all around the world. My job was supporting our colleagues around the world, as we were at that point centralizing the IT infrastructure and thus the support to save money on local IT people. Seeing as time zones are a thing, and at that point in time I was the only one working in that particular position, I of course could not be in the office all the time my global colleagues were working. Because of that, I voluntarily forwarded our office phone to my private mobile whenever I knew the local IT person would be in the respective office, just in case there were questions. It didn't happen all that often, so I had no problem with it. The internal number for the support in our main German office and the one for the global offices differ by only one digit. That is probably why I was called that day. That said, I technically did work at the foundation when the call came in. I was just not the correct IT guy to talk to for the issue. After way too much background, onto the story. Our US office had an on-site appointment with their IT guy on a Friday afternoon. Due to the 5 hours time difference, I would be out of office by that time, so I tell my colleagues overseas that I'll forward my phone in case I was needed. I wasn't, but seeing that it was the weekend, I had no chance of cancelling the call forwarding. That Sunday, my phone rings and I recognize the number as our support phone. Thinking maybe something else came up and people were for some reason over in the US office, I answer the phone. Foundation, this is OP speaking. Hi OP, I am having trouble receiving emails on my phone. Could you check if there is something wrong with the system? I'm sorry, you must have gotten the wrong number. This is not our in-house IT support, and even then, none of them would be in the office to check your system on a Sunday at noon. What do you mean? I called the number for IT support and you answered the phone. You have gotten the wrong number. The correct one is... I then read the correct number, which is one digit off. The executive, getting annoyed, and what are you doing for our foundation then? Me, confused. I'm working IT support for our offices abroad. The executive, now slightly angry. And why did you answer the phone then? Well, I had it forwarded to my mobile because of a possible phone call on a Friday from the US office. And since you called the number for our global support, I thought they might have an issue. So you're not going to help me or what? Even if I worked for the local support, I don't have any access to our system right now. I'm at home about to have lunch, not in the office. The executive practically huffing through the phone. Well, why didn't you say so? He then hangs up. Even now, years later, I still don't know why he thought that A, he would reach anyone for support in our office on a Sunday, and B, being told he had the wrong number didn't account for me not being able to help for. The thing that I've always wondered is how people always type one digit off. Like you could type any of those 11 digits off, but it's always like the last one. Contractor lost a deal because he doesn't believe that I don't work here. This happened a long time ago and my dad likes to bring it up as a teaching tool on why you should always be polite no matter how the other person is dressed. Anyways, my dad, also the CEO of a construction company, is D or Dad. Idiot contractor is IC. I think I christened him Chad. Receptionist or R is Kim, and regular office worker is Walt. And me is me. The setting, my dad's company's reception area. A little background, I had an internship that was near my dad's office, but growing up, I never stopped by my dad's office ever. So his colleagues know that he has kids but doesn't know how I look like. So here goes. My internship ended way earlier than expected, and I called my dad to see if he would like to grab lunch with me before I head home. He said yes, but let me know that he's in a meeting and it might take a while. I was fine, said I'll wait in the lobby till he's done. Cue me stepping into the reception area and telling the receptionist that I'm here waiting on someone. Okay, do you want me to call whoever you're waiting on so they know you're here? No thank you, he already knows I'm waiting. So I settle down on one of the nice couches and pull out a folder from my internship and read. I then spy the nice coffee maker and decided to make myself some coffee. Then in comes the idiot contractor Chad, basically storming into the place like he owns it. Kim, hey, I'm here. Call Walt, the office worker, and let him know. I need to go over some stuff with him before presentation. The receptionist Kim was polite and got on the phone quickly to call Walt, I presume. And you, make me a coffee. I take it black. Since I was an idiot, and again I don't work here, I didn't realize he was speaking to me. You, miss. I look up. Yes, you, make me a cup of coffee, black. No thank you, I'm just waiting on someone. I have no idea why he thinks I work there, as I'm dressed way too casually to be working there at all. All the ladies wear business suits and I'm there in jeans and a casual top. What do you mean, no? Do you know who I am? I have a contract with this company. I will tell your boss you were rude and you won't have a job at all. The poor receptionist looked horrified and tried to defuse the situation. Chad, I called Walt and he's on his way down. Why don't you take a seat? I don't believe this. Is she, he gestures at me, here for an interview? She's not going to get the job now. That's the problem with people just starting out. No respect. Rant, and some slurs here and there. I just ignored him and sat back down sipping my coffee. Just then, Walt shows up, hearing the tirade. What's going on? This girl, gestures to me sipping coffee again, is rude and disrespectful. I told her to make me a coffee and she refuses. Walt, she said... Walt waves Kim off. I'll take care of this, don't worry about it. Now, miss. He looks at me while I stare at him with my eyebrows slightly raised. I probably looked entitled because I was getting annoyed as heck. Chad here is a very important person at this company. Are you here for an interview? Go get him the coffee and I'll talk to HR about this, okay? I don't work here, nor do I want to. I'm waiting for someone. Walt at Kim. Who's she waiting for? Chad, before Kim could answer. Probably her boyfriend. Ha ha ha. Probably one of the new guys. Poor dude. Ha ha ha. Now, miss, you're making things difficult for your friend. He said this in a condescending tone. When you're rude to his bosses at work, your boyfriend could be fired for this. At this point, my eyebrows just rose higher and higher. Thankfully, my dad walked into the lobby with a colleague of his that I've known since I was a kid, Uncle M. Kim speaks up. Boss, loudly, going to lunch now? Yes, he sees me getting berated by two guys. What happened? Nothing, boss, just some new guy's girlfriend who's rude to Chad. I'll talk to him and get it sorted, and Chad and I will have the presentation after lunch. My dad puts on a confused face. Boyfriend? Daddy, he, referring to Chad, got angry when I said I'm not making him coffee because I don't work here. He kept going on and Walt here thinks I'm somebody's girlfriend and said he's going to get him fired because I don't want to make coffee. Yeah, I know, I do the whole daddy's spoilt girl thing when I'm mad, and frankly, I'm really ticked at those idiots' condescending attitude. Both Chad's and Walt's faces went ghost white when they realize I'm waiting for their CEO, who happens to be my dad. Uncle M to Kim, "Is that true? I heard some shouting." Kim nods her head. "OP, are you here for lunch with your dad?" I nod my head. "Okay, why don't both of you go and I'll take care of this. Walt, Chad, my office now." My dad and I left, and I had to spend the whole lunch explaining what had happened. My dad didn't say much, but I can tell he's not happy. He told me not to worry and he'll get to the bottom of it. His way of saying he'll light a fire under both Chad and Walt's butts. Later that night, when my dad got home, my mum got the whole story and told me. While my dad and I was out at lunch, Uncle M got the whole story from the receptionist, and Chad's contract was promptly cancelled due to unprofessional behaviour, and Walt was basically in the doghouse with his immediate supervisor, who reports to my dad and Uncle M. From what I understand, he quit the company about 6 months later, and had to go into a different field. What I'm wondering is, even if she worked there or she was just waiting for a boyfriend who worked there, why should she get you a coffee? Like, you're doing a contract for the company, that doesn't entitle you to anything like that. No ma'am, I can't help you. I ordered over 100 $2 flashlights with my company's logo on the side to give to several building apartment managers. These managers would each be giving them out to their residents' kids for trick-or-treating. Well, I had one more community that needed about 50, and I only had 30 left. I ran into the Five Below to buy the difference. Five Below is a store in the United States where you can buy junk for $5 or less. Flashlights, phone chargers, balloons, t-shirts, etc. I approach a lady wearing jeans and a light blue t-shirt that has a giant Five Below logo on it. It is imprinted from shoulder to shoulder, armpits to belly button, it's the whole front of the shirt. And the print is shiny. It says, "Five Below, we do it for the scares," or something equally Halloween themed. She shows me the flashlights and I go over to them, and I kneel down to start gathering up 20 of the most similar in design to the kind I already ordered. Some lady approaches me, and while standing over me asks, "Do you work here?" I think about what I have on. Black chinos, a light grey button-up, and a yellow v-neck sweater. I reply, "No, I'm short because I'm trying to hurry." She says, "Well, do you know anything about flashlights?" Not terribly rude, but with a weird tone that had me worried that weird people in stores can react badly to interactions like this, and I just wanted to get out of there. I reply, "No ma'am, I can't help you," and I stand up with my flashlights and beeline for the register, where I am greeted by a friendly cashier, also in jeans and a light blue t-shirt with the biggest Five Below logo imaginable. I look around and notice everybody working there is in the exact same outfit available, and that the lady is still by herself by the flashlights, now on a phone call. Nothing too shocking, I know, but it just happened and I wanted to share. I think this person was too paranoid and have been reading too many of these stories, and they thought that woman was about to go full Karen on her, but maybe they were and they got out of there just in time. I'm mistaken for the school custodian by substitute teacher while trying to drop off paperwork. So before we get into the story, I will admit that I do work for the school district, but as a para-educator, not a custodian. A few weeks ago, I had taken a day off work to go to different appointments. My first appointment was early in the morning, and since I had some time around lunch, I went to work for a few minutes to drop off my timesheets to my supervisor. On my way, I walked by the cafeteria to see a substitute shouting at a pair of boys who had started roughhousing and ended up spilling their packed lunch trays all over the hallway. I figured I'd just let them get the scolding. They were troublemakers anyway and could probably use it. Until the substitute turned around and saw me, and immediately started yelling at me. "Well, aren't you going to clean this up?" Me, confused as all heck, just shrugged. It wasn't my job, I didn't have the radio to call the actual custodian, and I didn't have much time until I accidentally made myself late. That obviously was not the right answer, as she starts demanding why I'm not cleaning it up. And seriously, what was she expecting? For me to just get down on my knees and clean the pile of spaghetti, pizza, peaches, green beans, and milk with my hands? So I do the only thing I can think of, and tell her that's not my job. That was even worse, as she starts screaming, "Don't you work here?" "Yeah, but..." "Then do your job." It was then that I realized, as a substitute, she'd never actually seen the custodian, and she was assuming that since I had a lot of keys that I had to be the custodian, which no, I am not. So the substitute keeps shouting at me like she had the students, not letting me talk, until the main secretary walks by, and she just flips her head. She storms up, starts demanding to know what's going on, and when the substitute tries to answer, the secretary shuts her down and asked me why I was here when I had the day off. I told her that I had come by to drop off my timesheets before my second appointment, and how the substitute had started yelling at me without letting me talk, and boy was the secretary not happy. She got her radio, called the actual custodian, and sent me off to deliver my timesheets. I found out this morning that the secretary had reprimanded the substitute for her treatment of the students and fellow staff. And when the teachers found out, they ended up blacklisting her from subbing in their classrooms. I feel kinda bad, but also not, since I had only met her that once and she had been awful. Oh yeah, I would not feel bad. From the way they described it, she was just like some power-hungry substitute with no actual power, then yeah.
Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like, and if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.